We're on your side tonight with more of our conversation about teen dating violence. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and this topic has really hit Charlotte hard these past few days. This weekend, 2 people were killed, including a 15-year-old girl.
I'll be honest, with somebody who does something like this, there's no telling what was in that man's mind.
On Sunday, a 23-year-old man, John Bosek, broke into a home in South Charlotte. He shot and killed 51-year-old Matthew Chaplin and 15-year-old Jenna Hewitt. Jenna was just sleeping over because she was friends with Chaplin's 16-year-old daughter. We have been told the 16-year-old met Bosek online, but police have not said any more about the extent of the relationship. But just a week earlier, Bosek attacked the teen and stole her telephone. There was a warrant out for his arrest, but police say they couldn't find him. On Sunday, after shooting Chaplin and Hewitt, Bosek shot himself and he would later die. The 16-year-old ran to a neighbor's home and called 911. She survived, but she's going to have to live with this weekend's events forever, and these families are certainly grieving tonight. Now, yesterday, we learned some frightening relationships like this are really far too common. According to Love is Respect, 1 in 3 teens will be in an abusive relationship before they become adults. And girls in this teens range from this weekend are 3 times more likely to experience it. And most teens will never tell anyone about their abusive relationship. 82% of parents say they feel like they'd be able to recognize the signs of dating abuse, but when they were put to the test, more than half of them, about 58%, weren't able to recognize those signs. So what do we need to look for? What can we do? And what is already being done? Tonight, we are joined by Alex Pyun, who runs Mecklenburg County's teen dating violence program, Love Speaks Out, and also Shawnice Stratford. She is a volunteer with the program. Alex and Shawnice, appreciate you coming in tonight to talk about this really important topic.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, Alex, let me start with this. Why do so many teens hide this abusive relationship problem?
Well, I think that's a difficult question. I think for every teen it's different, but usually it's just hard for a teen to express that, hard for a teen to talk about that.
Yeah, I know in my situation, it was really hard to articulate or communicate like what exactly was happening. So you don't want to just jump the gun and, you know, kind of over-exaggerate something that.
Maybe teens not aware they're in that situation of what exactly is going on. They don't have the language to describe an abusive relationship. What are warning signs? What are the different things that you know, it's not easy to articulate exactly that.
And I'm thinking too, you're 14, 15, 16 years old. Relationships are just new to you, period.
Right.
So maybe you don't even know what normal is. Does that happen sometimes?
Definitely, yeah.
Sure.
Just being naive and not knowing, for sure, was my situation.
So let's talk about these warning signs that parents should know about, because they think they know, but they don't know. Alex, run through a couple of these that are the most important that parents really look to recognize.
Well, for one thing, just if they notice that their teen's partner is constantly being controlling, their teen's partner is constantly messaging them, wanting to know where they are, if they seem just to have a lack of interest in the things that they used to like to do, all of a sudden all they want to do is hang out with their partner. It seems like they don't want to hang out with their friends. There's different signs, but again, it's going to be having that relationship with their child, because if, you know, if it's not going to be easy for the teen to
say that. So it's important that the parent do take the initiative to speak about these things to prevent it versus kind of intervening.
Yeah. Taking the telephone, I guess that's fairly common, because we saw that in the most recent case apparently here this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. We see that all the time. Not only taking the phone, but breaking the phone. If you think about someone's cell phone, all their contacts, all their support system, the ability to call the police, actually taking someone's phone is a crime if they're trying to call the police, because they're denying them the ability to call emergency services.
Shawnice, did you find it was purely about control?
Yes.
I mean, you talk to teens today. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, power and control is the power wheel that we kind of talk about when we're talking to the kids, or just different phases that they go through, as far as like walking on eggshells, like in the beginning, kind of like the tension building phase. Then it goes into the explosion phase and into the honeymoon, where they kind of minimize and try to make up for what they did just to kind of get that trust back, but it's just a cycle.
How important is peer pressure in a positive way, in that if I see my buddy doing something, you know, that he shouldn't be doing, for me to speak up about that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely breaking up those circles of, you know, the bro code of, oh, you don't talk about that, or,
Right.
you know, don't worry about that. I mean, bystander intervention, we call it, but it's definitely important to call someone out and just be like, are you sure that it's not, you know, are you sure that they're cheating, or are you just constantly accusing them of cheating? You know,
Right,
you
right.
have to weigh, you know, that insecurity versus what someone's actually doing.
Talk to the parents at home, because I'm imagining the last thing a 16-year-old girl is going to want to hear from mom or dad is that you need to break up with, you know, that boy. How should you handle that situation when you fear that perhaps your child is in an abusive relationship?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel the best way is to not accuse them of anything, so don't go in pointing fingers or anything, but definitely be open to listening to how they feel and kind of dissect what's going on. So make sure that they're aware of what's going on, so they can then put an end to it. So asking them questions like, how does it feel when your partner checks your phone, or you know, tells you what you can or cannot wear? Like, how does that make you feel?
Sure.
yeah, I mean, instead of just laying down the hammer and just being like, no, don't talk, we're just ending this right now, and then putting a wall up between you and your child. You know, you do have to find the ability to give them mental health support, and if you don't feel comfortable giving them that mental health support, getting them a counselor, you know, free counseling with community support services, and giving them that space, because they're used to the top-down parent approach where no one's listening to their stories or their voices,
Right,
but
right.
they do have very complex feelings, and I mean, we remember.
Sure.
Yeah, and I feel like parents just need to remember that when they were a teen and, you know, they didn't appreciate their parent going so hard on them. So I would say take that same caring and loving approach.
Some great advice. Alex and Shawnice, appreciate it. We'll make sure we link up their website to ours so you can get more information if you'd like to have them come and speak to one of your groups. There, you can see the number there on your screen right now. Love is Respect, the hotline there, 866-331-9474. We're back right after this.